Welcome to 3 on the Ones and Twos with your hosts, Tom, Cassie, and James. Just 3 old friends talking about their favorite records. Think of it as the coolest book club for music nerds.
My name's Tom Cheshire. I'm a soul singer. I grew up in New York City. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta. I've lived all over the world, but lucky, so lucky. You know, Cassie, James Joyce. I've written songs under the name All Night Drug Prowling Wolves on and off for years, and I met this cat, this beautiful, cool cat. I think in 2008 maybe?
I think it was 2008.
And was it Giant Tiger?
Yeah, I was in a band called Giant Tiger.
And so he opened up for me.
Okay, that's awesome.
And I think we spent.
If you know what I mean.
Yes. And I think we spent the night together. We saw the sunrise, we were hopping on trees and stuff. And but I know this, we had a connection. And but what happens in life? It's like ships crossing in the night. There's so many horrible people in the world, and there's so many beautiful people in the world. And then years later we reconnect, and he comes into town, and he becomes best friends with my best friend, Casey Yarborough, Tony, who we talk about all the time, and Billy C. Robinson.
Billy C. Robinson.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So
I think I met at a party at
yes,
Casey's
and the really cool thing about this is like James said this earlier, and I love it, and he kind of in a nutshell explained the whole thing. It's like for 30 minutes or 32 minutes or 36 minutes, we let someone
45 minutes.
Hopefully not.
We let someone come in and
73.
Yeah, but we let someone come in and share a piece of their brain and their heart and their crotch about a record.
I will share all 3 of those.
Yeah. So I want to thank my brother Brian Colantino and Trackside Tavern for having us.
Yes.
Can we do a shout to Jamie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
it's
started early.
Merry Christmas,
Time
Happy
machine.
Holidays, whatever. Actually.
I don't know if it's coming out. Yeah.
So talk about this record.
That was the point I was going to make, was that there's a record out there. Everybody brings a record to the show.
There's a record that he didn't really know this, and now we want to listen to it.
I didn't know either.
Well, a lot of the records people bring to the show, they
awesome.
They believe in these records completely.
Yeah.
And maybe you might know the record,
Yeah,
maybe you listen to it, but you're like, maybe I didn't really give it. I didn't really study it. I didn't really think about it.
And the thing is,
until somebody brought it to me, then you're like, I got to pay attention.
Yeah, and there's 2 types of
Which we know this is a monumental record.
And there's 2 types.
Yeah.
And there's
It
2
was for me, for sure.
And there's 2 types of magic. So, one is if everything aligns, the planets align, all 4 of us go, holy shit, that record did something to me. But also the second time magic. How about we don't? And we let this guy be the star of the show and tell us, oh, I was 19 or a girl broke up with me, whatever. And you say, because I remember hearing I'm very
dancing around this. Yeah.
But I remember hearing a song, and I remember a sweater I was wearing. So yes, tell us the record.
Well, let's okay. So it's Queens of the Stone Age is the band. The name of the record is Songs for the Deaf. And,
Which is it's beautiful.
Yeah.
This record was fucking huge for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got the floor for 20 minutes, my brother.
Actually, I don't even own the vinyl though.
Well, no.
That's okay.
When this record came out, it was
okay.
This record came out in 2002. 2002.
Did it really come out in 2002?
I didn't have a fucking vinyl collection then. I was 17 years old.
So I think I met you.
Vinyl was not a thing. It was all CDs.
Oh my
so
God.
I had the CD, but I made the mistake of buying it at Walmart. So it was edited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the
parental
clean
advisory
version.
did not have that. I should have looked
I love
for that.
I
And
love
so I
having
had that
the
CD,
clean.
and that's still the only CD.
So it's crazy because I think I met you in 2008. So you were ready.
And one of the songs in particular, it actually edits out half the song.
Well, you know what?
But I think that's amazing.
But that was the way I heard that song the first time. So
But I think the problem
I
with the U.S. vinyl or the repressing, which I believe is what I don't know. I think that must have fallen out of my bag, but which I believe is the repressing.
Wow.
I
never
think
actually
it's
seen
missing.
this in
I
person.
think it's missing the,
Oh, yeah, right.
one of the hidden
That's
tracks. That's I think maybe at the
Just on the
beginning.
CD.
Yeah, but you have to kind of rewind it to the negative
Yeah.
to hear.
That was a big thing, obviously, with
on,
CDs.
yeah, on the CD, but this doesn't have that, so it's kind of like disappointing. That's kind of because
I love just to say
There's a lot of weird things going on with
there's
that.
so many things going on.
Well, there's a lot of crazy things going on with us because it's Sunday morning and we are wasted.
We are pretty
But like there's a lot we want to say.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say about I love that you bought the clean version. Because
I didn't know.
I know.
You were 17.
I love that there
I was
were
17
clean
and I
versions,
had to hide this
explicit
shit from my
versions.
parents anyway. So.
And like I have a clean. I love actually kind of collecting the clean versions of albums in a way because it's so funny. I have a clean version of Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
is
That sounds
amazing.
Is that listenable?
Well, what is it do?
Is there any audio on it?
Well, what does it do?
funny.
Does it just blank it out? Because on this one, I think that it says beep, right? When it says actually has the beep.
Yeah, they do beeps. They do like really hardcore beeps. They don't even try to like. Because now when they edit things, they try to like flub it, you know, like
the straight out
or they'll reverse it, or they'll do. No, this has straight up.
It's like
So by the way, I'm having a blast. I want to try to like figure this out and these things out.
just to answer the question though. That's amazing. I love that they're just like put hard beeps into everything to make the clean version for Walmart.
Which is so disturbing because half the people listening wouldn't even know that someone cursed.
I think it's
Which is so
yeah,
stupid.
but I also think it's so fun. Oh, okay. So
Of course Walmart is the one.
I think it's Hami, Josh
Homme. Well, he's never given a straight answer.
Well, no, that's very.
People do
No,
homes.
he lets people say whatever they
Really?
want.
I say Homme just because that's the one I've heard the most.
Okay.
And it took me years to figure that out.
said
Because
that she
he
saw an
refuses to
interview
give a
with
straight
him
answer on it.
recently.
He won't let anybody.
where No, says that she saw an interview with him recently.
You
that he
should
actually
not
pronounces
mention
it.
that.
He pronounces
You should
his
not
own
mention
name?
that person's name on video. But
Well,
that's
I will
cool.
bleep it out then.
You're about to get fired.
And I hope it's going to be like,
Well, this is my thing. Okay, on it, because I remember like I'm a new wave guy, a punk rock guy, but I also flirt with the good metal, like which is why we met. We hit it off and watched the sunrise and talked. I probably discovered Caius after they broke up, but I heard Rated R. I loved it. I heard this, blown away. I'm a big fan of Nick, the bass player. Like, and I met him and hung out with him several times. He's cool, crazy, but I'm crazy, so.
Dude's out of his
You
damn mind.
guys hit it off.
Yeah,
And
he was like, I like your eyes, yeah. And
I think so.
And Dave,
Nick Oliveri?
this was the last album
He
he played.
got kicked out for
a
excessive
rumor.
debauchery.
Well, yeah, but I also think it was
Being
a
a pain in
rumor,
the ass.
right?
Hey, no, which means
For this band, that's hard to do.
Which means speed, and speed sometimes is okay.
They're all on speed.
But Dave Grohl plays drums on this, which is amazing.
Yes.
But I gotta
And
say,
he
I'm a
made-
huge fan of Joey C, who's like my
Joey
drummer.
Castillo?
He's a friend of mine, and he's an amazing drummer, and I love the shit he does. But Grohl really is an amazing drummer. I think like it's such a weird thing.
That's another amazing thing about this. Is Dave Grohl played on this.
many
Who is one of the greatest drummers
we
of
talked
all
about
time.
we talked about you coming on. Great friend, and the way I operate, and we all operate differently with the show is, like I'll listen, and then I did an abstinent, for a long time, and then I listen. Like Friday, I listened to this record 3 times while I was working, building a fence in Peachtree City, making $4 an hour. No, I'm kidding. But I listen to it, and I'm like dissecting a frog and thinking about the stuff.
You're in the laboratory.
Yes, and that's me as the artist and also the fanatic too, And there's so many of these things, and then I look up stuff, and I know you do your research, and so it's like kind of like this concept of driving through the desert.
Yeah, it was.
But but also there's so many other elements that maybe I didn't hear 15 years ago that I'm hearing now, and I'm like, this
I was actually going to touch on
there's
that.
There's Hammond organs and accordion right. Well, we have the same brain on this album.
I was going to touch on this too because I had an experience with this record.
Please do.
Two weeks ago.
Yes, please.
2 fucking weeks ago. I was hanging out with my friend Chad LeBlanc.
And that is
You
also
should
our
have
friend.
him on this show.
By the way, my brother. I hung out with him last night. Hey, Chad.
Chad is one of my best friends.
He's the best ever. I love him.
He will
We were
definitely be
having
on the
one
show.
of those just never quit, hang out all nights.
You know what's awesome? Actually, it's not awesome because I'm about to sound horrible. he came and saw me sing last night, and he said I cried. Thanks, Chad.
Chad is, oh my God, that's going to make me
beautiful.
cry. Chad's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love Chad so much. We were doing it at 9 or 10 in the morning.
I know he loves. I know he.
I don't know. The sun was up.
I know he loves. He loves his band.
We hadn't quit.
He loves his band.
He does. We have so many conversations about this band, and I love it. I love that I found my one other guy who knows this shit and really knows it like I do.
He does.
Can talk about
Dissects,
it.
dissects it.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing: is like I have purposely not listened to this record for a long. This is the one that I listened to the least at this point.
Really?
Because it was so huge for me when it came out. It changed my life when it came out.
It's deafening. It's deafening.
Like I was 17. I was 17
you.
when this record came out. It was like this was my discovering of this band and everything that went along with that. The whole desert thing, the whole Caius thing, like all of that. I was 17. I didn't know anything about that. I was living in Iowa at the time, Dubuque, Iowa, and there were.
I met him when he lived in Tennessee.
I moved there a year later, but like when I was up in Iowa,
you and Chad,
living with my parents, and like there was
Iowa.
Nothing. There was nothing going on. I was the only musician doing anything like this, anything close to rock and roll. Period.
Right. Like no one could
fathom. And I've been doing this since I was 13. Like and they all thought I was weird.
Well,
and
yeah,
crazy.
because like little
But
Midwest towns, like it's really hard.
So all you get is like
circle.
modern rock radio. That's
Right.
it. So I was driving around my parents' Chevy '86 station wagon, listening to the radio because that was all there was, you know. And then at home I had the radio and I had like a little boom box set up and I could record shit onto a tape.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
So I
oh my God, we did that like all.
That's
through,
how
like,
I made it.
Yeah.
That was pre like us having the internet.
How
like,
exciting!
Exactly.
How
yeah.
exciting
So like
is that?
2002,
So I would
you
record
really didn't
songs
have
from the
it.
radio onto tape.
Which is amazing.
And just make mixtapes
Well,
for
God is
myself.
in the radio.
For myself. I didn't give them to anybody. It was just for me.
Yeah,
'Cause I just want to be able to listen to this wherever.
Not even for a girlfriend, for himself.
Just for me.
That's amazing. No, really.
In 2002, you were doing
2002, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so
because
insane.
the
'cause,
internet
like,
was starting out, but the radio
Iowa is
wasn't
10
a-
years behind the rest of the world.
Sure.
listen,
Yeah,
like,
I'm originally from Milwaukee, like or Wisconsin, and like I've lived in a lot of little places.
Iowa's a
My
little-
mom
a
was in
little
the
behind.
Army. I traveled a lot, so yeah, it's like I understand like the isolation sometimes you feel when everybody when people around you aren't really into things.
I had
like,
friends and stuff, but like, I was completely isolated. There was nobody like me
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Isolate-
I was the weird one.
isolated.
I was the one they all looked like, oh my God, what?
So this was really
what
the
are you? Like,
transition.
and I didn't
Like,
understand that. I was like, what? I'm just.
Yeah, and
So,
you
like-
don't, because you don't really
I don't know that.
there's-
I didn't know that I was weird.
Well, you're not, but it's like, but
well,
yeah. but-
actually, listen. I mean, well, certainly you and I have had this conversation a million times without someone watching, and we've had this conversation like when I first heard the Ramones, I'm an outsider. Like, I was like, is he singing? I'm an outsider, outside everyone. Like, I cried.
Yeah.
And I also like arm hairs. Like, I was like,
Well,
thank you
dude.
for having my back. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
I've had so many moments with it.
Josh
Yeah, this
is
this is one of those moments for me, and
he
honestly,
was
one of
that-
the
he
most
was that for
important
him.
moments for
Yeah.
me.
And,
like
and
that.
so this
When
album,
this record came out, I think that single "No One Knows"
It's so
came out,
beautiful.
and it was on
It
the
really-
radio. So that's where I was going with that. Like,
And the thing is,
I would hear that on the radio and be like, "This is the most different, weird thing."
Right.
Because it was
Yeah.
unlike anything
And
that was
it's-
happening at that
and-
time.
and it sounds
was
like-
so different, but it was still being played alongside all this
Yeah.
it was the
garbage music,
horrible
like,
shit.
Yeah.
garbage,
it
like
was the
new
heaviest
metal.
thing on the radio.
But
I'm not gonna shit on any genre or whatever.
no,
Right,
it
but like-
does.
At that time, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I wanted Led Zeppelin. I wanted Black Sabbath. I wanted,
But like the thing is,
I wanted
it's,
Jimi
it's,
Hendrix.
it's but it sounded
But
like
they weren't playing
this
that, and then
band.
you-
This band was like
Right.
the next evolution.
I
of
agree.
That. Like they were like
Right.
the most rock and roll thing I'd actually heard.
and it sounds like a
This
dream.
band-
it sounds like a dream.
this
It
record
sounds like a
does,
weird
it
dream.
does. It
It
sounds
sounds like a
is
weird
like
dream.
the rock and roll that I'd been wanting to hear for years and never heard until this record came out, and then it made my life suddenly made sense.
It's clicked.
That is so beautiful. I mean, that is
I'm
so
serious. I'm
incredibly
absolutely
beautiful.
serious.
This is
Like-
why we do this show.
Yes,
Right?
This is.
Like,
This is why we do this
So
show.
that our friends can actually like talk
this is
about,
the album
like,
I had been wanting to hear, and I didn't know it. I had been wanting to hear this for
That is
years,
like-
and then it
Talk
came
about
out,
arm hair.
and I found it.
Oh, what? You know what's crazy?
To the point where I was going to like Barnes and Noble before I had any money, and they would let you listen to like samples of songs or whatever. I don't know if it was a Barnes and Noble. It was something like that.
Sure, like
they had
Sam Goody.
with the CD, so you could like listen to like 30-second samples of the song. And I was like, all I knew was that one single. So I was like,
it's beautiful.
I have to hear everything I can
It
from
does
this record
sound like
because I don't have a way to buy this record
dreamy,
right now. Like,
and
I can't find it anywhere.
Which single was it? Do you remember which single it was?
No one knows.
No one knows. I really do.
And then the rest of the record blew my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Just hearing 30-second clips from it.
And this is
I would hear riffs that I was just like, that's what I've always.
This is like
And then I finally bought the
this is
CD.
the best episode. This is the best episode ever. This is the best episode ever.
I mean, just like the passion that he's like.
Because I know we share the same passions.
I love this. I'm gonna cry.
We're all music fans, and 3 of us are musicians. You know. But like the thing is like, think about this. When I say like shit sounds like dreams. And you fucking wrote this shit and dreamed it in the desert, right? Am I right?
Yes, you're right. You're so right.
Billy C. Robinson's crying right now.
I'm gonna cry. Shut up.
It's amazing.
There's so many
It's
beautiful
like
things.
imagine writing these dreams from the
so
desert.
I wasn't familiar with this album. I mean, I was familiar
It's gorgeous.
with a couple songs that were singles that came out, but I love the dynamicness of it. It's so.
I love that.
It's so moving.
This is my favorite episode. Billy C. Robinson
is
crying.
Mine too,
He's crying
because it's so.
I love this record.
Emotional and like really, which music is.
That's
such a dynamic album.
This is like
So
that.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
all I've ever
Love
wanted to do
Supreme
as an artist.
for-
Like, all I want to do
Yeah,
is write
it
something
really
that
is.
fucking makes someone
Yeah.
see colors.
Make
Or
also
make
that-
someone feel something.
that
make
makes
someone
that
feel
makes
You know,
somebody
well,
feel
the way
the
that
way
I
you
felt something when I
you,
heard-
yes.
That
Yes.
is so inspiring.
And so think about
The
this.
most
Think about
inspiring
this. Think about this.
Beautiful.
It's
the
like
world.
it's
Beautiful.
it's
So-
like
so
it's
I
like a
started-
movie. It's like a movie. It's like a movie.
Yeah.
It is.
So-
it is very much cinematic and dynamic and.
I just want to say that
Also,
I
like insanely heartfelt.
this album transcended a lot of because I saw them on this tour at the 41.
Wow.
Really?
Awesome.
Really?
With
Did you-
Grohl
With
on-
Grohl?
on
Oh, you
drums.
were so lucky.
Wow.
You were so lucky.
This guy, you think you know about music? This guy knows way more about music
Oh,
than us.
yeah,
It's amazing.
obviously.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
what
we're going
was
to be
it?
good friends.
But
He's the best.
it blew me away because it's an amazing record, but also it was brilliant that Dave Grohl played on this because it brought all of the like.
Wow.
It was kind of weird because there was like a frat boy element to it, like.
A little bit, yeah.
They-
but
Well,
kind of
maybe-
cynical though. Like,
Yeah.
like
Well, there's also
it
like a little bit
got-
of grunge, no?
Well, yeah, it was sort of like
you can't tell if the
it's
frat
sort
boy
of
element is serious or it's just
the
kind
end
of
of the
like
He-
making.
I
Well,
love
I
his
think-
joke,
I think-
but
It's writing that line.
I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's kind of impressive because they were able to open up.
They did the border.
This is like the heaviest album that like the indie rockers could love, the frat
Wow.
boys
Good,
could
yeah,
love,
good.
the metal heads
It
would
went
I am more of an
everywhere.
indie
I know.
rocker, and I would
Here's
say
the
this
thing
is.
is, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that at the time. All I
Right.
knew is
You
this was my
you
thing.
felt it.
Yes.
You
This is
connected
my
to it.
thing, and nobody
It's your
I knew in
personal
Iowa
thing.
gave a shit.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
it.
One
Yeah,
thing-
by the way, that's the other thing.
And I would try to turn them on to this, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's weird." I'm
That's
like,
the other.
I know, beautifully weird.
This is my favorite. Honestly, this is my favorite Dave Grohl related album.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, as
Yeah.
much as like Nirvana is
For sure.
whatever, but I think I love as a person who plays drums, I love his drumming on this.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I've actually
Song for the Dead.
I could be
Yeah.
beat
All
up.
the
I
fills.
could be beat up for saying this. I wasn't a Nirvana fan when they came out. Now I respect them.
Sure, you respect them.
Dave Grohl, I've never met, but I have a million friends that have hung out with him, and they say he's a nice guy. They're like, he's the Vince Vaughn of rock and roll. He's a sweet guy. He's awesome. But that's awesome. You could be a nice guy.
This is his
songs do nothing for me.
This is the
like so.
perfect
This
vehicle
is
for
his
his
best
drumming.
shit he's ever done.
No,
It's
but
a
did you
perfect
know?
match.
So to get the sound for his drumming, they put him in this little
Yes.
sound booth, and so because it was so tiny and they couldn't mic it, so I guess everybody knows this. So they couldn't mic it up. They had to record the cymbals separate.
It's all about Nick Oliveri.
He
but
is-
You gotta
he is-
understand this
That's
whole.
actually-
You gotta
yeah,
understand this
you're
whole.
right,
This
you're
whole.
They had to
Right.
This
record
whole
them
record's
separate,
all about
which
Nick
is kind of
Oliveri.
like like a complicated thing
Grohl
to
can
do
do
because they
that.
had to like cover up everything else so he could still.
Well, Grohl
Play
can
it.
do
That's
that.
absolutely right. And the
'cause
first home
Because he's
recording
very,
I
very
ever did, I had
talented.
to do that too.
Andy
and
Gill.
I thought I invented
Yeah.
it.
Hey, so
No.
So,
Recording the drums out cymbals is unbelievable.
so
and
by
then putting
the
it in
way,
later.
I should have said this in the intro, but my brain acts funny.
Billy's a musician, an amazing musician.
Amazing musician.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but his his
man.
first band
Don't
was
make me
this
cry
metal
anymore.
band called Red Necklace. That's an amazing name.
It is a
Red
great
Necklace. And he's like, yeah, man, I used to have this band called Red Necklace. And he was talking to me where my BMX fucking doing probably sorry. And it's like 20 years ago,
Edit
whatever.
that
And he's like, yeah, man, I opened up for you in 2008, like Red Necklace. I go, stop. Red Necklace, that's the best band name ever. Look it up.
But
Red
Like,
almost as good
the
as,
drummer
like,
in that
French
band, the
people
drummer in that
or
band, it was
Yeah.
just me and a drummer, and
it was
his
just you and a drummer.
his 5-year-old daughter
Red
named the
Necklace.
band.
Are you
Not Red
serious?
Necklace.
serious.
Red
But his
Necklace.
5-year-old
brilliant,
daughter.
though.
It was just
named
me
the
and a
band.
drummer, and
Yeah, I know.
the drummer's 5-year-old daughter named the band.
That's
And then I was
cool.
like, when I heard it, I was
How we
like,
doing, Tom?
But you are an amazing musician.
Five
And
minutes.
thank
All right,
you so
a
much.
minute.
What
Thank you
a-
so much.
So this thing.
This
so
is so much fun.
But you know what's so much fun is
we might
this.
go a
is
little
this.
long.
That's okay. I'll do this
and
forever.
you know what's insane? Well, by the way, we're going out after this. I just canceled all my plans, which is terrible.
Yes.
I'm pissed
Because
off.
I want to talk about all the individual songs on you. And I want to talk about songs, but
You guys
I
are
also
so
want to
beautiful.
talk about, I do just want to just make a brief
Well, it's
mention.
pretty awesome. It's 10 a.m. on a Sunday, and we are absolutely out of our tits.
I
6
wanna-
a.m. on
Good to
Sunday.
see you
Welcome
guys.
to Atlanta.
Somebody's like, it's 4
Thank you,
a.m.
Calatina,
and somehow
Texas.
it's light out.
Yeah.
I do want to say that, like, one thing that I really
Talking behind her back, in front of her face.
Cassie.
she's listening.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I really love is that a lot of, like, not a lot, but like a good number of these songs came from the desert sessions that Josh Homan does with Homan.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
does
yeah,
with-
there's
and
a
I love the
bunch of-
collaborative spirit of that whole scene that you just like.
It's
bring,
amazing,
and I think
amazing,
that's
it's
one of
amazing.
the things that
This is
that
a
helps
Desert
make-
Sessions episode.
But I think
as
that that's
well.
one of
We
the
have to
The
things.
scene has
cover
always
that.
been about
I've been there.
collaboration and
Yeah.
kind of like
You're
Queens of
awesome.
the Stone Age.
It's
The
amazing.
band has been a revolving door of musicians.
Yes.
Now
Well, you know
I
what's
think
you
they've
know-
had this pretty much the same lineup for the last
But
10
like,
years.
it's kind
or
of
so, but, like,
honestly like I kind of look
but
at.
until then, it was just
But I think
anyone
that's
out,
part of
anyone
what
in.
makes
It was
things-
whatever Josh thought was cool.
I think
Yeah.
that's
You
what.
And to be honest with you, that's okay. That's,
I think
That's
great.
fine.
I
That's
think
great.
that's part of what makes the album.
think it's what makes
I
it
mean, it's
tricky, unique.
cohesive because some of the things that were recorded on the Desert Sessions and then ended up on this album weren't with the same musicians who necessarily like wrote them, but they like
Yeah,
it was on
they
the album,
interpreted them,
and so
and then-
it's
yeah.
cohesive because it's the same musicians playing on
It's
here.
a little bit of a
lot the
collective,
same,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like getting a
collective
lot of like
of-
influence from other
it's a
things,
desert
and that
collective,
makes
yeah.
it
Take over
really
the flow.
dynamic. It
I
is
get-
a very dynamic.
I get very
album.
jealous of West Coast people because what do we have in Atlanta? Like we have like forest and swamp. Like we don't have a desert to
Right.
go to
And how cool was
blast
it?
music.
How cool was
There's
it?
no
Yeah,
Whenever
that
you
they
go
would-
to your-
situation.
that
Whenever
they
you
had
go to your
like
West
I grew up
generator.
in the desert.
They
What?
had like
Yeah.
How did you live?
they had
That's amazing.
generator. No, they had
That's a-
generator
it breeds
parties
a certain kind of
where they
person.
would
Such a
take a
good point.
generator
Yeah.
out there.
I never
just
thought of it like
a
that.
generator
Just
for
to have
the-
shows, they
ju-
would have to
just to be
take
just
a
to have
generator.
generators.
Yeah,
and that was
like,
it.
you know,
Yeah,
And that was
that's
it.
it.
So when I did
And-
like
and
96,
Josh
like,
Homme would say,
and
and the
they had
great
to
thing
create the
was
show.
because nobody,
They had to
they
create
didn't
the
have
show.
clubs there, so it's like that's
Yeah.
what you had to do to get your
Well, there were
music
no
out.
clubs.
But it's
No,
like,
no, no. There
but
might
like,
have been,
but
like,
then the people
one
felt
place in
free
that
to tell
town
you
90
if you
miles that
sucked or
way.
how
Yeah.
they felt
Yeah.
about your stuff, and it kind of like
Well,
like,
Well,
I hate-
my friend in Josh in San Diego, Josh Bohannon,
Yeah.
who you've met.
He's
like,
awesome.
What's
up, Josh?
They all, growing up in the West
Love you, dude.
Coast, you go out to the desert
Yeah.
and you bring a generator and you play music and you
Yeah.
take drugs and you have a great time.
By the way,
But like in
I
Atlanta,
love
I
all
always
those
feel
things.
like we get robbed of that. Geographically,
So,
we
you know
are
what-
robbed.
you know what-
I do
so,
think Atlanta's
You know
really
what?
have
You
to
know
go-
what? You know what? You're not robbed of
musically.
shit.
You know what's so
You're not
funny?
robbed
You know
of
what's so
shit.
funny? Like I think
It doesn't
about,
matter
I
about
think-
your geography.
I think about
your
things.
spirit is what matters.
I think
Yeah.
I think
So,
about things that
I want the magic of the desert. I want the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think
not
Atlanta
yours,
has
it's
a
theirs.
beautiful
I know
spirit
it's
for
theirs.
collaboration.
I get it.
I think
And you
about,
can be inspired by that.
We got the woods.
But you can't own it. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
you
a
can
good
be inspired
album.
by that.
We
and
got
you can
the
take
woods.
it in
We got the
and
Geographic.
use it for your
the
shit.
thing
but
is,
it's not
you
your
know,
house.
This
like,
album is the desert. Like it's
It
a
is.
great.
It is.
Well, so, like-
and it's an environment that I will never know. I didn't grow up in the desert,
But
and I'm
you know-
okay with that.
but you know
That's
what's
fine.
really good?
But they,
It spoke
this,
to it spoke
this
to you.
shit gave
It
me a
spoke
window
to you.
into
That is
that
good.
world and what those
Yeah.
kids grew up in, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
You
And
felt it.
I'm okay with that.
Like it took you
Because
from
you
the
know
place.
what?
You took
When
it
I
from
put
the
out
place you
records,
was at.
when I put out records, I really hope that they are reflective of what I have grown up with
That
too.
dude.
Like, and I hope I'm giving people a window into whatever the fuck I went through. If it's bullshit or not, I don't care. Like,
Well, no,
you
it's
know,
but it's not just necessarily what you went through. It's who,
It's
like
good.
it, because that
Right.
affects who you
Yeah.
are, and so
Yeah.
like putting who you are into your music. I don't know. This takes you on such a journey.
It does.
It does. Oh my god,
It is a
no
journey.
song sounds like any other one. Like,
And no,
it's-
it's
but
like
it still carries you,
it's
and
a-
it's got this like
It's a
running
grand
theme of
statement.
the radio,
Yeah.
listening to
It's
the
Terry-
radio in the
it's
desert.
Terry
Which
Gilliam.
some
Terry
people
Gilliam
don't
movie. It's
necessarily
like,
like
you
because
know.
they think that it breaks it up. But oh my
No,
God,
I think it's
so
essential.
fun.
I think it's
It's
essential.
so
like,
fun.
well,
And,
because
like,
that's the way I heard the record. That's essential to
Yeah.
me. Without the fake radio. Okay,
Let
okay.
me-
So
let me-
songs that
let me
really,
say this.
really.
I love this guy. I love his heart. I love him as an artist and musician.
I love you
And
too.
so I'd love to hear his opinion on 2 songs. That's it.
Okay,
That's
2
it.
songs.
Give me-
Okay. First It Giveth.
Fucking
When I first heard that song, it absolutely crushed my brain.
And then you went from here to there, which is amazing. Like hearing a radio song to go to that. It's amazing.
Yeah, because No One Knows is the radio song, and that was really cool, and I thought it was intriguing, but I couldn't tell if it was, like, I knew it was important to me, I don't know. And then I
Good
heard,
intro.
yeah, then I heard First It Giveth,
Fuck.
and I was like,
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
gut,
Yeah.
in the gut. In the gut. In the
I'm
gut.
like,
in
what
the
is
gut.
that riff?
Maybe not
And then,
together.
he's harmonizing the
Wait.
riff. It's a single note line. It's not even power chords. It's just single note
So
lines.
one-
and he's-
one note.
And it's heavy as shit. He's tuning down to C, so it's low as fuck.
One note.
And he's not even doing power chords. He's just doing a one note riff with a harmony that comes in. And then
He's such a weird dude for doing that. Like,
And then
so-
the rest
so,
of that song, the way it plays out,
amazing
it
how
just
he
gets
makes
better
it,
and better.
How it connects with us.
Yeah.
Cause like, I'm a fucking punk dude. I'm a new wave dude.
And so it's
and
this,
somehow
it's this weird
I
verse.
love it. I love it.
It bended my brain because it sounded weird, and then when he gets to the chorus, it's not as weird anymore, but it's catchy as
Are you
hell,
talking
and it
about
never
the?
leaves
Are
your
you
brain.
talking about the lyric? Are you talking about
It's like the perfect song.
the lyric?
Like,
Wait, the lyrics or the music?
the music. The
Okay.
music. Okay,
Yeah,
so
'cause it-
so I should explain
everything's
that. I
very
should explain
dynamic,
that. Like
and each
I
song
could
is
not
so much like a
recite the
story.
lyrics to any of
Okay.
these songs if
No,
you
it's
asked me
yeah,
to.
but like
That's the way that my mind works. So like my mind works in it's aural. Like
Yeah.
Like I hear the music and that is the most interesting thing to me. The lyrics are like secondary.
I connected
They
a lot
always have
more
been.
to the
And
music
that-
on this.
Now that's
a lot.
not that's not true in every situation. Like
Yeah.
you know you could be Tom Waits or whatever, and I'll be like, well, everything
I'm
matters.
looking
Well,
at
The
well,
lyrics
well,
and-
also,
you know,
also,
like-
he's a unicorn, and he's
But what I hear first is
he's
the
an
sound.
alien.
Yeah.
And that's just the way my brain works, and then the lyrics come later.
I
That's
do
the way I
wanna
write songs
mention-
too. You know?
That's right. That's
Cassie
the way I write songs.
is the
I
person in the
write
group.
lyrics to fit whatever music is going on.
That's true. Yeah, that's the way I write songs.
So this album is very metal adjacent.
And,
And
so,
Cassie
and
is
also,
not-
also,
I do not
and
like- I'm
also,
not a
it's
metal
it's
person.
And she
it's
is
not it's not
I
metal,
would say
but
the
it's like
only,
I
Right,
the
but
only
it's-
song
it's
I'm hearing,
heavy
It's
and
metal
the only,
adjacent, but it's
the
not
only
metal.
song
No.
that really I think
not
dips
metal.
That's
its
why I
toe
wanted-
too
I want
much in metal
Cassie-
is the very very first one, and then there's one where they just do like screaming.
The first one is they're basically like okay, it's weird.
It's more metal.
It's like it's their mission statement. Like
Yeah.
we are here.
right.
But then
right.
it's not their mission
No.
statement because you hear the rest of the
Yeah.
record and they're like,
And
oh
then there's
no,
only-
no,
and
this
then
is the
there's, like,
dumbest
one-
song that we
You're
There's
way
one
recorded.
other song where they're like very much.
And I think it's badass,
Like,
but,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but it's not.
one of
And they had Nick Oliveri sing that
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah,
One
Nick
of-
Oliveri
that's
sings
another
a
thing I
lot
like
of the
about
ones
this
where
record.
they
There are
scream.
3 lead singers
Yeah.
on this record,
and
at least.
Nick Oliver is amazing.
It's Nick Oliveri, it's Josh Homme, and it's Mark Lanigan.
One
From
of
Trinity
well,
Trees,
right?
I love Mark
Yep.
Flanagan.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
one of the guitar players, well, big fail, Tom. Came out to see me play in Nashville, and Troy, or like one of the guitar players of this band came out to see me play, and I played in Nashville, and we hung out all night. Sorry.
That's awesome.
And we hung out, and he was a nice dude. And we
Of
had
course you did that.
And we had a blast. He was a nice guy. And he's like, yeah, man, LA's expensive. Me and my wife got an apartment in Nashville, or whatever, and it was awesome. And it was,
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, guitarist Queens of Thirty, just can't see him play, whatever.
That is so cool.
But fucking so nice. So this is where we're at in life, because we really could go on for 25 hours.
Yeah,
if you
I'm
give
sorry,
us, if you give us chemicals
this is the problem.
and fucking Tylenol,
Me and Tom get together, this is-
we could talk. You know.
Well, I think it's also people
So
want
much love, so
longer
much love,
videos,
respect.
like-
Well, big time thanks to Josh. We gotta give props to Nick on bass
yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and Dave on drums.
Dave
you
on
know.
drums.
And we
But,
haven't even talked about
my
Dean
favorite
Williams.
Honestly, everybody on this record.
Well, what a great
Mark
record.
Lanigan's picture is even here, and he only sings on like 4 or 5 songs.
So Mark Lanigan's like got
That's
this,
amazing.
got this like Nick Cave, like that. Well, that's another
He's
another
Tom
episode.
Waits Jr.
Like that bubblegum albums that
He
destroys
looks
me,
like
you know.
he could be Tom Waits' son, and he sings like he's Tom Waits' son.
It's like Nick Cave and Tom Waits had a baby.
You've never
There's
heard
one
before.
song, I
All
think
right.
it's on the second
What-
LP, that
we gotta
actually
get outta
really
here.
kind of flirts with like some post-punk. Like I actually
Yeah.
heard like a little bit like Echo in
this
the
band
Bunny
goes
Man,
all
and,
over
like,
the place,
So-
especially if you start exploring
so,
all their records.
real quick,
they
I'll-
go everywhere.
Real
No
quick,
record sounds the same.
I'll tell a funny story.
I wish this episode could last.
So, I wish too. So Billy Inman, one of our producers, love you, Billy, and I had a punk magazine called Dry Ink years ago.
Oh, I remember that.
And I came up with this idea called Drinks With, where I sit down and drink with artists and talk. Great concept. We would drink whatever.
It's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah. And literally, Billy was like my manager at the time. And he contacts Greg Dooley, who certainly has inspired the shit out of me from Afghan Wigs. And he was doing a record with Mark Lanigan under the name the Gutter Twins, whatever.
Sure.
And he sends his management a note, hey, we want to do an interview, like whatever. And she goes, well, considering they're both ex-heroin addicts and alcoholics, we do not want to do an interview with you called Drinks With. It's like, yeah, we're going to end on that. Like, that's amazing. And I was like, well, I love Mark Lanigan. I love Greg Dooley, Afghan Wigs. Like, love Mark Lanigan, Bubblegum. Like, fucking love even Screaming Trees. Like, whatever. I am sorry if I offended anybody, but it's how funny is that? Like, and Billy goes, you got to see this response. She goes, considering, no, they did not want to talk to Tom Cheshire. It's amazing. Thank you, Queens of the Stone Age.
Thank you.
Thank you, Billy C.
Robinson.
Robinson.
Thank you guys. I love you guys.